Hi guys. We are moving into your end of the unit essay. So hopefully you've already viewed the introduction video that I posted earlier. So that would go over the ANT portion of our introduction. Today, I'm going to walk through an outline for you of how you can go about creating your outline for your essay. And I'm going to do mine on a slightly different topic. So on my screen, this is exactly what your screen looks like in your notebook, but I do have a different prompt here. So my prompt says, should senior citizens have to retake the driving test to renew their license? So I'm going to be writing an outline that focuses on that topic. You guys are obviously using the topic, should people in life or death situations be held accountable for their actions? So please don't confuse those. Your essay is on that life or death topic. So we talked in our other video about how we need to have a claim, we need to have reasons, and we need to come up with a thesis for our first paragraph. So my claim, which you guys have on your evidence logs, you would type your claim in here. My claim is that senior citizens should have to, take the driver's, I'm going to say the in-car test to renew their license. So that's my claim. Okay, senior citizens should have to take the in-car driver's test to renew their license. Now, I'm going to put my two reasons here. My first reason is going to be that they have slower reflexes and deteriorating senses. So like they don't hear as well, they don't see as well. And then my second reason is that they're more susceptible to harm. I'm really struggling this morning. Yeah. There we go. So if an older person, if a senior citizen gets injured, it takes a lot larger toll on them than it would on a younger person who maybe was in that same kind of accident. So that completes our claim and our reasons, but now we need to come over and we need to look at our actual introduction paragraph and how we're going to do our outline for that. So the first thing we have to do is our attention getter. And what I'm going to do for my attention getter is I'm going to tell a story about an old person behind the wheel. I'm sure you guys have experienced it, even if you're not driving yet. You see someone driving really, really slowly, and then you creep up next to them, and it's an old person, you know, with the steering wheel right by their face. So I'm going to tell a story about a senior citizen driving poorly. Okay. Now, you're noticing that I'm not putting the actual story on my slide here. What I'm doing is I'm building an outline. I'm making some points of reference so that when I go to write my essay, I know what I need to put in those specific locations. So tell a story about a senior citizen driving poorly. I want to make sure that I describe the bad driving, and I want to make sure that I describe the look of the senior citizen. Okay. So now you'll notice that some of my stuff is coming down here off my screen. Remember, you guys always have the ability to resize. So I just did a Control A, and I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so now that'll all fit in my box here. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the necessary information. So what I think is important to know about in terms of my topic, should senior citizens have to retake the driver's test to renew their license, I think it's important, one, that we know what a senior citizen is. So I'm going to define what a senior citizen is. And I'm going to also give some information about the in-car driving test. So I would talk about like the different things that are involved in that test, you know, having to make specific turns, following directions, changing lanes, basic driver's things that you guys have to look forward to here in the next year or so. So then I'm going to move on to my thesis, and my thesis is going to be my most important sentence of my essay. I've said that multiple times in that other video, but I really want to drive that point home because your thesis is so important. So our thesis is going to follow a really specific formula. Okay, so everybody's thesis should look really similar, and we're going to type our actual thesis on our slide. So our thesis is going to start with the word because. I know that sounds weird because you're not supposed to start sentences with because, but we can do that as long as we format our sentence correctly. So we're going to start with because. We're going to say of their slower reflexes. So we're looking at my first reason over on my left side. So over here, I've got that first reason, slower reflexes and deteriorating senses. Really quickly. Okay. And my second reason says their susceptibility to injury and harm, comma, we're going to say senior citizens should have to take the in-car driver's test to renew their license. Man, I am struggling to type this morning. Good thing we can make our corrections. Okay, excellent. So now I have a strong thesis. I've got my 2 reasons outlined. Again, all we did was we took this claim that we had over here on the left, we took that reason 1 and that reason 2, and we turned them into a strong sentence that's going to help guide our paper. Okay, so this completes your outline for your introduction. We're going to complete this either in class if you're an in-person student, or you'll be working on this at home in your notebook if you're a TRL student. But make sure you follow this formula. Make sure you pay attention to your Antica Rec videos that you've been watching, and you do yours just like this. Doesn't have to be full sentences or full paragraphs at this point. We want some bulleted ideas that we can follow when we write our actual essay. So the only real sentence that you have to have on here is that thesis, because we want to go ahead and have that written so we can discuss that and make sure it's nice and strong. Okay? See you guys later.